Oh, refried beans are so good.
They're disgusting. So it's like eating baby poop. If you've ever changed a diaper, you'll never eat a refried bean again.
It's the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. Shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
Hey, we're back from our trip.
We are, and it's the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast, and this is pretty wild because this podcast is being recorded literally the day we are back from our trip and back at work. So very fresh.
And we talked a lot about the trip on the last podcast because I listened to it. I wanted to make sure I was fresh for this conversation.
Yeah.
So the first thing we talked about on our last podcast was, are we going to listen to a podcast playlist or create a playlist for the drive home? Because I was driving out before you, and then you came to my parents' house and came and picked me up, and then we went to our conference, and then we were driving back from Cleveland to home. In case anybody missed it, I just wanted to catch everybody up. Well, we did none of that.
No, but I think I know the reason why we didn't.
Why?
I think we were. Okay, so maybe this doesn't happen to everybody. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't. A lot of people probably get out of work and crank up the radio or whatever they listen to, and probably that's their way to decompress.
Although I do like driving in silence.
You and I think because we spent 2.5 days of hobnobbing, if you will, I think we were just like, whoa, no more sounds except for us.
Right. And I think that there was so much intermingling with other people that once we actually got to just us two, it was, let's break down what we just experienced.
Well, that's it. We were doing a breakdown. We had not, it had been really a week, almost a week since we had, I see Ellie every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on a weekend day too. I mean, there's a lot of times, we'll do natural, you're just naturally moving along. You kind of know things. Well, when it's been a few days, you're like, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened. So we ended up, I think, when we started turning on music, I know exactly when it happened. It was when we almost got to Olean. So from Cleveland all the way back to Elmira, it was all the way up I-90. We did not listen to anything. We were talking about, like you said, kind of, ripping apart what we had just gone through, and then, other things catching up. And then somewhere around Olean, we're like, all right, let's see what some of our sister radio stations are doing. That was like and that didn't even last that long.
Well, that, and I was editing social, because that's when at that point in the trip you said, oh, I forgot to give you all of these videos that I recorded while you were gone. I was gone a couple days prior to the conference that we were at. So you had recorded some videos and transferred everything to my phone. And I thought, well, while I have the time, so I was editing. I was actually not listening to our sister stations. I was listening to what I was editing. And so it worked out great. So it was a very quick trip, because the talking ate a lot of that first, what do you say, 3 hours?
Oh, God, at least, yeah.
So we talked for 3 hours straight. Now, I think I would have enjoyed a podcast, listening to it with you, just to I like when Zach and I do this. We'll listen to the same podcast and then we talk about it. I would have enjoyed that, but I just don't think we have the same interest in podcasts. I also really wanted to do the Spotify playlist, but again, our music tends to never land in the same plane.
Well, it was funny. You and I, there was one point, you must have been in between editing something, and we were listening to, I don't know. We had stumbled across out in Olean. We have a couple radio stations too. Well, more than a couple, like most of them. And I remember there was like a couple of 80s songs that came on, and I remember you asking me, you're like, "Who sings this?" And I go, "Oh, that's Survivor," and it's not Eye of the Tiger. Do you remember that? Yes. I mean, literally, if we made it 3 songs where we were like listening to the radio, and then somehow we were back to, I know you had finished editing and we were watching the video. Safest way to drive, right? Watching a video.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about that. So we never got into
the one thing is, though, and this is where I agree with Tiffany, because I listened back to the podcast, and not to get on you too much, but I'm going to get on you.
Don't you worry, because yours is coming.
Because in the previous podcast, you really had no interest in sharing a Spotify playlist, which I thought would be really fun for listeners, because Zach and I share so many Spotify playlists that we will create for certain events, whether it being for Valentine's Day or a road trip or whatever, Memorial Day, who cares? And we will share a Spotify playlist. And I thought that would be really fun. You just had no interest. And I'm like, why is he sucking the fun
It's not.
out of doing this thing? It's such an easy thing.
It's
and
not.
you didn't have kids Monday or Tuesday. We could have easily done it.
But here's the thing. That's not what it is for me. It's not trying to suck the fun. You have to realize my fun hits different.
When?
I honestly, I am not a person that really in advance knows. This is like you at a restaurant. Oh God, are we getting to that too? But this is you at a restaurant. If you know you're going somewhere and you know days in advance, you've scoured the menu.
Oh, yeah.
You and by the way, yesterday Tiffany had to low key scour the menu on something. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So you scour the menu, not even low key, and you're like, I'm going to have that. I'm
Yes.
going to have that. I'm going to have that.
Yes.
I'm totally different. I need to get to the restaurant and figure out what I want at that moment. I do not know that far in advance. And I'm the same with music. And sometimes, and maybe it's because I'm just was from a generation that I didn't have to create playlists. I like to be told what I'm going to listen to. In other words, here it is. It's on the radio. And if I don't like it, I can just hit a button and pop over elsewhere or find something I like. There is an adventure in doing that still. And I think
Sure.
it's a lost adventure. I don't want my life so planned out where I'm like, all right, it is 3 songs in and time for No Doubt.
But sometimes it's a detour. Well, that's why you shuffle it up. But sometimes there's a
know.
detour that I don't want. And I'm trying to create a vibe for the trip. And you just wanted to create nothing. You're like, just
No, the
let's
vibe
go.
to me happens when you're in the moment. For me,
Organically.
it's one of those. I'm rarely an in the moment person. I'm very much I wish I was in the future more. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking that way. I mean, once in a while you got to look in the rear view mirror, but I try to look forward as much as possible. But a lot of times it doesn't hit me until I'm in that exact moment of time, whether
Well-
it is music, whether it is a podcast, whether it is. I don't know.
Here's my takeaway, though.
What?
Is yes, I don't mind road tripping with you like that, but I wouldn't road trip with you often because I want the playlist created.
But that's
I
fine. You
Here's
can,
the one thing.
you're you, I'm me.
Here's the one thing that you were really good about, and I wasn't sure if you were going to be good about this. How many times I need to stop and pee. I did
Do you
not
know though? We did stop to get gas after we left Cleveland, maybe about 45 minutes out.
which was perfect because I needed to pee.
Right. We did not stop again until we got to the really glamorous Chautauqua. Was it the Chautauqua rest stop? Is that
Yes,
the one?
and it was so funny because I posted that we were there at the Chautauqua rest stop, and your girlfriend sent a DM and she goes, I'm glad that you're posting because I haven't talked to Scott. I have no clue what's happening, when he's coming home, whatever. And I think she said, I've only talked to him 3 times this trip.
Oh, that's bullshit. So I called her when I got there. I called, that
That's
evening we
good.
talked for a few seconds. The next morning we talked. Then, I just didn't call her to the point of nausea where she says I do every day anyway. So I gave her that break. Pardon the fuck out of me.
So that's funny because I didn't really contact Zach that much either. It was so limited to the point where he's like, are you alive?
Yeah, that's the way this was outside. Because I know you were there a couple days in advance. Mm-hmm. Once I got to town, and once we got to downtown Cleveland where the conferences were, it was pretty go. We almost immediately connected with another colleague in our company, and then once we connected with her, it was connecting with 2 other colleagues that we work with, and then it was a social gathering. It was. I'll get to the dinners. Then it was we got to get back. We got to get some sleep. Then it was the next
Barely.
morning. It was go and then go more and then another gathering of social get-togethers and then it went. It was nonstop.
And I don't know if everyone else's conferences are like that, but ours just always are.
Yeah.
It is constant.
And they pack them in. You don't see a lot of these people that often. So you're like, all right, let's go.
Which is why I equate this also that this is work because you're literally sitting in conferences all day long. I have a much longer day at conferences than I would for a work day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
very true. Very
we
true.
had kind of joked, this is off the air, but we had joked how we're not taking vacation days for these days off. These are
Oh,
still
no.
considered work days.
This was
and
absolute work.
And rightfully so, because the days are so long.
So I have a couple areas that I need to cover.
Okay.
And it's okay. I'm gonna start with this one, and it's gonna lead into the into part 2 of this.
Okay.
At what point do we stop catering for someone else's needs and restrictions, if you will?
This is tough. This is tough. I know what you're saying. We were traveling with somebody who's vegan, and it makes it a little interesting to pick restaurants, which is why I picked the 2 that I did.
And God, it was not good.
The first one, I have to tell you this. The first one was this Mexican restaurant that has more than one location in Cleveland, and the other location is fantastic. This location was not good, but I also praise Cleveland all the time for everything. The downtown restaurants aren't that great, but
hold on a minute. Let's back up.
Go ahead.
This is your hometown. I
Yes.
lived in Cleveland for a number of years, but it's been a long time. Downtown restaurants have changed tremendously since I was there. Now, I want to do the math on this.
Okay.
1 vegan versus 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll eat just about anything.
Because the 2 places I really wanted to go, because downtown is, I don't like downtown as much when it comes to the Cleveland scene, because it's downtown. I mean, there's a sense of tourism there. I wanted to eat either at the corned beef place, but again, that's meat.
That would have been great.
Or I wanted to eat at the barbecue place.
That would have
Again,
been
meat.
great.
Yes, but I didn't have that option, so I chose the option that was.
You do have that option.
That was accommodating to the vegan.
That's where 4 to 1 the ratio changes.
We should have then. We should have said that. We should have said.
But I was never even involved in any conversation. So let me stick with the catering to the needs of the few as opposed to the needs of the many.
I know. I didn't love that either.
So here's the thing. I will not be rude to someone that has a dietary restriction of their choice, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, of their choice. This is not someone with a raging peanut allergy where, okay, you might need to go to the ER if we take you to the peanut butter
Factory.
And jelly factory. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if that was the case, I would be like, wow, insensitive. That maybe we should have picked somewhere else.
All right.
99.999999 places you can get a fucking salad.
I know.
Okay? So
And I bet you could have got a salad at either the barbecue place or the deli.
without a doubt you could have gotten it
But
at the barbecue place.
Did you hear me hint about both of those things?
No. See, here's
Oh,
what
because we walked by. I even said, Scott, that's the place that has the corned beef sandwiches that I love
know
so
you
much.
pointed it out. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't been there in years.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the corned beef sandwiches, if you're watching this, I'm using my hands to describe it. It's half the size of my head. I mean, that's how big.
And then I said something about the barbecue place, because we walked by the barbecue place, and
I
someone.
didn't know we walked by that.
Yes, and it was diagonally across from the Mexican restaurant, and somebody, it must not have been you. Then it was one of the 2 other guys, and they were like, "How about not the barbecue place, since we have a vegan?" And they didn't say it quite like that, but they said it about that way. Like, I don't think the vegan would appreciate the barbecue place, I think is what they said.
I think so, but I think they were wrong. And here's where, now mind you, I want to be very clear. The colleague that we're not naming, but that we're talking about, I'm not trying to be cruel or rude to them, because
It's just that we ate at a less caliber restaurant, because that was what I
twice.
felt. That's what I felt was our only choice.
So here's the thing. I don't know how this happened. And now that I'm beginning to understand a little bit more of how this happened, I'm going to be a little less brutal to you, because I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, this is your hometown and these are the 2 places. At one point, do you remember me
You didn't
twice?
like the second one? The second restaurant, our food was
Second one
fantastic.
sucked ass, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Our
Although the
food
food
was
was good.
bad.
Food was good.
Well, that's what you're there for.
Well,
you're there to
not
eat.
really. But hold on.
Okay.
So, do you remember at one point I even said, Jesus, is there not even a sushi place nearby? Because you can get a million options at something like that.
You did mention the sushi thing. I did not ask the vegan if she likes sushi.
Well, but there's other options. Either way, I'm just saying, 99.9 places you can get a salad. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And even if we had said, we're going to cater to you for one meal, but honestly, the next place we go to, you might have to do a change in the menu, because I was never even consulted on where we were going. So let me back this thing all the way up.
Okay.
So, because that's where I'm sorry, I really struggle catering for someone that is of a dietary restriction by choice all the time. Again, if they're deathly allergic to peanuts and you took me to the peanut butter and jelly factory,
That's a different story.
that's a different story. But, you know, or I don't know, I'm lactose intolerant. So you know what? The grilled cheese place in Cleveland, bad choice if you're lactose intolerant, right? That's a little bit different, because if I really desperately wanted it, I could have gone and gotten it, and I could have had it for a snack at some point, right?
Okay.
So that being said, I'm going to back this thing all the way up. So on Wednesday, which was my travel day in, this was the day that I'm picking Allie up from her parents' house, and then we had to make our way downtown to where the conference was happening and so on. I had left Elmira, and it was 9 a.m. I, believe it or not, had to drop something off at Tiffany at work, but I stopped at Wegmans. I got a turkey BLT, like pre-made sandwich. I'm like, I might need this.
Yeah.
Well, that was inhaled before I hit Painted Post, which is, for those that are not here, 20 minutes away. So I was like, I'm like, I had to eat. I hadn't eaten before I left the house.
Yeah.
So didn't eat again until I got to Cleveland, thinking, okay, we're going to grab, it's going to be, I knew that there was going to be a social gathering, but I was also thinking, and this social gathering, mind you, was people from all over the country that do what we do. And, some people we hadn't seen in a long time. We knew it was going to be
New friends,
there.
old friends, and just lots of mingling.
So I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is going to happen, and we're just going to quickly bow. We're going to have a drink or two and then bow out for dinner right after. Or some plans might have been kind of thought about.
Because they did have snacks there, but it's hard to
where
have.
did they have snacks?
How did you miss it? So on the right, where it was like hummus and tzatziki dip and all that stuff.
That was
and
in the first gathering.
Yes,
I'm
and
talking,
then the right down the middle, they had all the pizza.
Yeah, I'm
But
talking
it's
the
hard
gathering
to-
downstairs at the hotel bar, which was essentially taken over by 75 radio people for 3 nights.
At least 75.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's hard to, when you're first mingling and first seeing people for the first time in a long time, it is hard to eat. Like, I saw some people eating, but a lot of people weren't eating because it was
you're
like your
sitting there, you're
first
like-
impression.
Whether you're meeting, like you said, whether you're meeting somebody for the first time and you're like, I've got pizza coming out of my mouth. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I mean, it was a nice gesture, but it wasn't gonna work.
And
So-
I'm trying not to have garlic breath.
Right? So we make our way downstairs. Now, mind you, the whole group is still together that we traveled with. We're all still together. And of course, it's progressing along. It's now nearing, oh gosh, it's got to be near 7 o'clock, right? Now, I hadn't eaten since 9 in. So I'm
yeah.
sitting here thinking, okay, this is gonna start steering towards the conversation of food. Well, all of a sudden, the two of the colleagues that we work with come from our corporate office, and they obviously had bumped into, or it was planned that they were going to go have dinner with someone that we do a lot of, in our business, we do a lot of business with, that works for another company. So all of a sudden, I see those two, and it was a very pronounced walk-off. They disappeared. And here's Allie, me, and our other coworker, the lower level, if you will. And, well, we're still hanging out, but we're having a good time, right?
Yeah, because we're with a bunch of other radio people.
So now it's 8 o'clock, and Allie, or I'll say her name, Sammy, nobody started talking like, let's eat, right?
Right.
Let's go eat. So finally, I'm like, is there food at this place, at this hotel? So yeah, it worked out, but it was 10:30 at night. I ended up getting a Reuben, which I ate, like, I didn't even eat in front of everybody. I'm like, I'll eat a piece of that when I get back to my room.
A flatbread?
I ordered, because nobody seemed to be doing anything, I ordered 2 of their, little pizzas they have, like appetizer pizzas, which were delicious. But, I'm like,
Also,
well,
I hope you kept the receipt.
yeah, oh, sure. That's being turned in. So I'm like, I've got to do something, because at this point, and I'm not calling you out on this point, but you been enjoying yourself, visiting with a lot of people, and I don't think I had to almost direct you and be like, Allie, you need to eat something. We've got to eat.
I have a phrase that I like to use when I'm having some adult cocktails. I always say eating is cheating. So,
well, it was time to cheat.
Right. Oh, yeah, it gets to that point in the night. Yes, for sure.
And at this point now, I'm like, well, we're not going to make it to some restaurant because there's just no way that we're going to.
And it was late. And honestly, downtown Cleveland just kind of closes early,
it does.
Unfortunately.
So then it takes us to the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starving again. This whole thing, I'm like, the whole
I'm
time we're
starving
there,
too.
I'm starving. And at the hotel we were at, because we got booked just down the road, if you will, from where the conference was happening.
It was 16. It was a 16-minute Uber at minimum, 25 at maximum, depending what time of day it was.
Yeah, right. So I'm thinking, all right, we'll go downstairs to our hotel. We'll at least get a breakfast in us, and then, we'll go over to the conference. Well, that didn't quite happen. Everybody was still getting ready. So now we're Ubering ourselves.
And plus, it was a crappy buffet. That's not what I wanted.
I don't know exactly what they had beyond that. I didn't even get in far enough to look.
Oh, I looked because I had to get ice.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Was it looking kind of rough?
Ugh.
Oh.
It's like eating at a Ponta Grossa.
Oh, well, then I was thinking to myself, in the back of my head, I'm going to be like, Allie's going to whip out some like little diner somewhere in Cleveland that's going to blow our minds.
I could have, but we didn't have time. I would have taken you to Grumpy's.
I know. And now we're at the hotel. Now we're literally, the conferences are starting, and our whole group has now, even the guys that went off to a beautiful dinner, which by the way lasted till 1 a.m. God, I hope it was good for them.
Steak and everything.
Yeah. Here I am chewing on a cold ass Reuben and a square of pizza that big, praying to God. So now we're day, here we are in the first full day of conferences. Everybody's lined up to get a shit ass breakfast sandwich at the hotel.
It wasn't that great.
And most of it was sold out. So I'm like, I'm now going to wait to eat. Okay. At this point, I'm just going to coffee my way through it, and I'll get to it because
But your stomach hurts because it's like eating itself.
Yes. I'm like, lunch has got to be good. When did the conversations happen for who's deciding where we're going to eat? Because I never was even once consulted.
I don't know how the conversation.
Did you go to the boys and say, I know exactly where to go?
No, I think I think they came to me and like, what do we want to do? What's going to be time? What's going to work timing wise? And
oh my God, and that was close too, because the place we went couldn't have been slower.
I know. It was that. It was, how are we going to transport to said restaurant? And also, what can a vegan eat? So all of those things, Dave and I said, we'll walk the 15-minute walk.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That was
what actually needed to walk after we'd been sitting around.
And that's what we said. So then it was, okay, the vegan can have this, because that's when I said either I like the deli, I like the barbecue, but it's like, well, no, those things won't work.
I think barbecue would have been better for dinner. I will agree with that. The deli, absolutely. I couldn't believe they would. What deli doesn't have a salad?
That's how we came to that decision.
Let me just tell you, maybe the other location was fine, but can I just tell you, as we're walking now, you have to realize, in this sort of rebuilt alleyway where we were walking to get to this Mexican restaurant, at the end of this said alleyway, we must have passed 10 restaurants that I'm like, oh my God, is this the one? Is this the one?
Oh
Yay!
my gosh.
I mean, there was everything to choose from. I'm like, Italian. I'll freaking.
Oh, you want to eat a lasagna for lunch?
At this point, my stomach's inside out. I would eat any. It does not matter what it is.
Scott just doesn't like Mexican, so he was, of course, going to bitch about it.
So
because he doesn't know what to order, and he's like, Allie, order me my food.
Well,
and then he's like. So it's Scott, Dave, me, all on one side. And Scott's like, Allie, what's this? And Dave's like, refried beans, Scott. They're refried beans.
Well, I don't fucking know. I hate refried beans.
Oh, refried beans are so good.
They're disgusting. So it's like eating baby poop. If you've ever changed a diaper, you'll never eat a refried bean again.
I'm going to eat refried beans for dinner tonight.
Well, then you know what? Go change a baby before you do that. You'll change your mind. So anyway, I order this carne asada, and because I really have not eaten since 9 a.m. the day before. I mean, half the Reuben at 11 o'clock at night, back at the hotel, sitting in my underwear on the edge of the bed watching some crappy TV show. I'm like, wow, this is just like being at home. So at any rate, I ordered this carne asada, which, it comes out slower than molasses in January.
Yep.
And that's the other thing too. I almost punched Dave, who was sitting next to me, because he's like hogging the chips and salsa, and I'm like, dude, he's okay. Let me tell you about Dave. And Dave,
well, you better hurry because
buddy, I'm coming right at you now.
You've got 7 minutes left of this podcast.
Dave is one of these guys that likes to kind of get the elbows up like this, and he had himself positioned instead of moving the chips slightly to the left so that I could have been in there. I'm doing one of these. I'm like, pardon me, Dave. Let me get some salsa over
He
here.
was too worried about drinking his Modelo.
Oh my God. So at any rate, this thing comes out. The skirt steak is straight fucking shoe leather.
It is? Oh, that sucks.
So anyway, I huff half this thing down.
Yeah.
And we're back to the conference. All right. Now this is day 2 of the conference, so I knew we were going to do a dinner this night with our colleagues that we were all together.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, and I had heard we were going to Mabel's, which was the Michael Simon's barbecue place. Well, somebody, and I think it was you that told me, because we waited till 8 o'clock. Again, we waited till 8 o'clock because everybody's having themselves, another social get together and cocktails.
And we were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, for like 8 hours. And I don't.
Well, they had a nice large presentation for us.
It's quite the presentation. They certainly don't know time efficiency. It was like, well, for the next 2 hours, we're going to tell you how you're inducting people. Okay, whatever, great. So now we're to the point, and you notice this is all around food, but I'm so excited for Cleveland
you would
food.
be in Paris, France, and still be bitching about.
I'm so excited for Cleveland restaurants and food because Cleveland's a pretty good food city, right? Not this trip. So here we are now, and we were going to do Mabel's. Come to find out, and I can understand. I guess you needed reservations, and it was 10 o'clock at night before we could have been seated.
There was 2 restaurants. Mabel's was not. We were choosing not to go to Mabel's because we had a vegan with us.
Salad is available.
But I have friends who are vegan, and they hate that they always have to eat salad. So,
oh my God, I don't care. For one meal, I get to have what I want.
I know. So that was
never again with her. Never again.
It was either Mabel's, and then that got the kibosh. Then it was Cordelia's. They were booked till 10.
Oh.
So then I was like, okay, there's this great restaurant called Heart of Gold, and they have fantastic food, and they have a tofu hoagie. This is perfect for her.
How did you just say fantastic food and tofu hoagie and try to sell me that that's good?
Well, our meals were delicious. The vibe, Scott hated the vibe.
Well, first of all, we get in the Uber, and we're driving, and I'm thinking, okay, she's taking us 4 blocks over. This one's the home run. It's either some kind of a steakhouse or something Asian, which, or Italian. I'm like, this is the home run. This is the one. And then I see us crossing over the bridge, and I'm like, wow,
we went to a trendy part of town.
Trendy as in artsy fartsy to the max.
Yes,
Now, mind you, it's a cool vibe. Parts of it.
Oh, sorry, it's not Applebee's, Scott.
Honest to God, I'd have taken that at that point. So we walk into this place. Now, first of all, it's
got like boho lamps everywhere.
Did we enter the gay section of Jamaica? Was that what it was?
I'm
sorry. So confused.
Sorry that gay people were waiting on you. They both were very gay.
The people that served us were fantastic. I mean, listen, I'm a fan of flamboyant. Don't get me wrong. I find flamboyant funny. I really do. Come on. If you're flamboyant, you know what you're doing. You're going for the humor factor of it. So at any rate, I'm looking at this menu, and I'm like, I don't know what to order. Show me a porterhouse. I mean, oh my God. And do you remember when we went into the hotel restaurant? Because this is on day 1 when we were abandoned by the people that, were with us. I told you they went to the other dinner. Mm-hmm. We went and sat down at the table. I saw a fucking ribeye for $135. I'm like, gotta go.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Shit face.
Oh, man. Maybe the latter. I remember now that you say it right now.
Oh my God. We made an exit so quick. I'm like, we're just going to go eat at the bar area.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
And the prices were insane.
Yes.
So for like normal, like a burger was like $73. You're like, what?
And you're hoping, is it good? You're not sure because
Right,
it's downtown. It's
So
so
back
touristy.
to Pot of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
Whatever. So here's the thing. It's the area it was in, fine. There wasn't even a
Fine.
restaurant nearby that we could have like pivoted to where I could have been like, hey, look, lasagna and vegetarian lasagna.
I could have
Ooh.
taken you to Little Yes, I could have taken you to Little Italy.
Why didn't you suggest that? There's vegan options there. There's freaking eggplant everywhere.
Oh, well, because I was trying to think of her and I saw the tofu hoagie.
You wanted to show off the weird, funky places in Cleveland. And God, did you
Well, the
ever.
first one wasn't funky. The first one was just Mexican.
Yeah, that was not your fault, but boy, did we walk by some places that looked really good.
But wait a second.
Yes.
I just have to say one other thing.
I just have to say you dropped the ball harshly on this one. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Downtown is not my thing. If you go to like some other areas, then I can guide you a little bit better. But this also is coming from the man who we were at the final lunch. And remember the refried beans, right? Where you said, what are these? So he's eating a dessert that I got for him. Thank you.
That was very tasty.
And yes, and you're like, what is this? And I go, tiramisu, Scott. It's tiramisu.
Well, I'd never seen it presented in that way.
Okay.
So
Sure.
it was a little different. Tiramisu usually is in a smaller,
Yeah.
smaller.
No.
This was
No.
like a square sheet cake
Yes,
sliced up
that's what
version of it.
tiramisu looks like.
Oh, I thought it was. What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking creme
Creme
brulee.
brulee.
I'm sorry, my
So-
brain went elsewhere. Yes.
So, needless to say, as soon as you said, what is this? And I responded tiramisu. Of course, I have to text Dave. I'm like, the man who doesn't know what refried beans are doesn't know what
You
tiramisu
guys were shit talking me while I was sitting with you all?
No, Dave wasn't with us.
Oh, that's right. They left.
Yeah.
They left.
Yeah.
Did you see when they finally rolled out the lunch at the hotel? They only served one meal for the conference,
And it was so good,
It was
actually.
you know why? Because everybody else must have eaten like shit for 2 days. I got 2 of those little baby steaks. They were about yay big.
Yeah. And the swordfish was amazing.
I had a salad that I swear to God, it's a miracle I'm not having explosive diarrhea from Cyclospora right this minute. And then and guess what the vegan said who was sitting right next to me? Oh,
what
my
did
God.
What did she say? Because I didn't hear her.
Oh, these carrots are great. I'm like,
Oh, I know. I watched what she was eating. I was like, this would not satisfy me. If I had to eat just carrots for lunch.
it was.
Oh, I couldn't be vegan.
I'm like,
And then wait,
because
one
the
last thing.
salad had cheese in it.
So one other thing, yes. So that's what being vegan is. So one other thing, we were coming home and I had guests at my house for the weekend.
Yeah.
It was Zach's kid and girlfriend. And I said, Zach, is Cyrus and Addie vegan or vegetarian? And he's like, no, why? I'm like, thank God. Because I really I'm with you. I loved my roommate. She was fantastic.
Oh my God, she's one of the nicest people on the planet.
I was like, I don't want to cater to a vegan anymore. I know it sounds like such entitled bullshit, but like, I don't want to cater to that.
So I got home Friday night.
So we slammed pizza on Friday night. We got the meat lovers. I was like, give me the meat.
After I dropped you off, I stopped at Wegmans. I got $45 of sushi.
Oh my God, of course you did.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.